Today I'm sharing our step-by-step Google Ads tutorial for getting more website visitors, getting more leads, and getting more sales. Hi, I'm John Mullery, and this Google Ads tutorial is suitable for anyone looking to either start advertising on Google or improve their existing campaigns the right way, regardless of what product, what service, or what offer you're selling. I'm sharing the exact methods we use in our agency to help clients scale on Google rapidly. Now for this tutorial, we're going to jump into my computer so I can share my screen and bring you through everything step by step. Ready? Let's do it. Okay, so for the purpose of this tutorial today, there's going to be two assumptions. One, that you have a Google Ad account already set up, and two, that you've got your conversion events already set up as well, so you'll be able to track conversions. Now, if you don't have a Google Ads account set up, I'm going to link a video to show you how to set up a Google Ads account. And if you don't have your Google Ads conversion set up, I'm also going to link another video that shows you step by step how to set up your conversions. But for today's tutorial, we're going to be focusing specifically on a search campaign that's designed to not only help you get traffic to your offers, but also help you validate whether or not your offers are strong enough to actually convert with paid traffic in the first place. So we're going to hit this big blue button under the campaign's home section. We're just going to hit this blue button here. We're going to hit new campaign. When we go into a new campaign, there's always a lot of different options we have. We have sales, leads, website traffic, product brand consideration, brand awareness, app promotion, local store visits and promotions, and create a campaign without a goals guidance. So this is what I'm going to hit. I'm going to choose this option here. We are going to be optimizing for a conversion set, but I'm just going to use this as an example. Now we have a number of different options when it comes to choosing the type of ad campaign we want. We have search, performance max, display, shopping, video, app, smart, local, and discovery. The option you would choose here really depends on the type of campaign you're setting up. But for the purpose of this tutorial, we're setting up a search campaign. So that's basically ads that are going to show in the Google search results. And in future videos, I can talk about different ones like display, YouTube, smart campaign, discovery campaigns, and so on and so forth. But we're going to choose search here. And then we're going to choose our conversion. Close this out here, leave. We're going to choose our conversion goals for this campaign, the goals that we want the campaign to optimize for. And we're essentially going to be optimizing for both signups, begin checkouts, and purchases. So we're not going to be optimizing for page views because that's just a standard one. So I'm just going to remove this. And now the campaign performance goal, and these are conversion goals that we'd already set up ahead of time. So like I said, I'd link to another video if you haven't got your conversion goals already set up. Now, if you're driving to a webinar and you're optimizing for leads, obviously you will just optimize for signups. If you were driving directly to a sales page, you may optimize just for purchases, or you may optimize for begin checkouts. But for the purpose of this campaign, I'm just going to optimize for what's called a conversion set. So I'm optimizing for both signups, purchases, and begin checkouts. So we're going to be optimizing for all three. So again, if you have not got your conversion goals already set up and your conversion tracking already not set up in Google, this is the very first step that you need to focus on, because it's absolutely critical to the success of your campaign that you're able to tell Google what to optimize for. But once you've got these set up, you're just going to hit continue, and you're going to give your campaign a name. And when it comes to naming a campaign, we typically like to use the offer that we're promoting as the beginning, the type of campaign we're running, the type of targeting we're using, and the type of offer it is, and then our kind of demographics. So for example, I'm going to put in, say, YouTube test. We're doing a search campaign. We're going to be doing a keyword campaign. We're going to be, our niche is, for this example, I'm going to be using tennis as a niche. Our age range is 35 plus, and we're doing all devices in USA, and our date that we're doing it in is today's date, which is the 14th of June. Now I'm just going to separate these a little bit better. Click continue. So we're going to be optimizing for conversions, and we're not going to set a, let's close this out, leave. We're not going to set a target cost per action. We're going to set it for maximize conversions, at least at the very beginning. And what we want to do here is you have a number of different options. You have conversions, conversion value, clicks, impressions. We want to optimize for conversions because we're direct response marketers. We want to get results. We want to get leads. We want to get sales. We want to get signups. We want to get people to register for a webinar if that's the case, or we want to get people to buy our product or course or offer if that's the case as well. So we're going to set maximize conversions. And then in terms of our networks, what we're going to do, we have search network or display network. And display network can be good when you're looking to scale and you're looking to get extra traffic. But right now, we're just going to focus on the search network. And we're just going to ignore this notification from Google here. And then when it comes to our country, we simply choose the country that we want to target. Now, for this example, I'm only going to be targeting the United States. And one thing to notice is when you hit location options, you want to change this to presence. Because if you have presence or interest, it may show it to people outside of your chosen country who have an interest in your country. So say, for example, say you're targeting people in the United States, it may show it to people in Brazil who have an interest in the United States. Maybe they watch US TV shows and they watch US Netflix and things like that. The ads will still show to them, but we don't want that. We want people with the presence in the actual country. So we're going to click people in regularly in your target locations. And if we have any exclusions, which we're not going to have any exclusions here, same deal with the exclusions. Language, we're just going to choose English as a language. When it comes to audience segments, it's not necessarily a requirement when you're running search ads, but it can be a really fantastic strategy to use audience segments in your Google ad campaigns once you get some ads that are performing well, some terms that are performing well, and some offers that are performing well in Google. So there's lots of different audience segments that Google has already created. So obviously Google owns Google Analytics. So Google Analytics is installed on something like, I don't know the exact stat, but something like 60 to 65% of all websites on the internet, which means they have a ton of data, and they've compiled and created lots of different audiences across lots of different ranges. And we have this spreadsheet that we have, which actually details the 3 types of audiences that Google has created, as well as every single one and whether they're on display, Gmail, discovery, search, shopping, and video. So we have affinity audiences. So this is people who are interested in things related to banking and finance, food and dining. As you can see, lots of different options here. We have in-market audiences, which is apparel, accessories. They're in the market. They've either purchased recently or they're in the market to purchase these type of things. Obviously, this can be super, super lucrative when you're tapping into these audiences. Lots of different options here. And then we have the demographic side of things as well. I'll just scroll down here quickly to show you how much there is. And then we have detailed demographics as well. So obviously this is super, super important. And these are all the different types of audiences and whether they can be targeted on display, Gmail, discovery, search, shopping, and video. Now, if you want that spreadsheet, I will happily send you a link to that spreadsheet. All you got to do is just let me know in the comments and subscribe to the channel. And I will send you a link directly to that spreadsheet so you can download it and you can leverage those audiences, because there is an absolute ton of opportunity in those audiences and adding them to your campaigns. So if you're interested in that, getting access to that spreadsheet, just like I said, like this video, leave a comment below and subscribe to this channel, and I'll send you a link to download that audience targeting tool. Okay, so let's continue. So for the purpose of this tutorial today, we're not going to add any audiences. Now, actually, what I will do is I'll go back under here to audience segments and just to show you what I mean about the opportunity. So let's say if I was to search for, because we're using tennis as an example, let's say if I was to search for tennis, we can add these audiences to our campaigns. Tennis enthusiasts, that's definitely one that we could use. There's some other ones here, sports fans, we could definitely use that. In market, they're in the market for soccer tickets, baseball tickets, they're not necessarily relevant. But the tennis enthusiast definitely is a potential one we could add. Now, for the purpose of this tutorial today, we're not going to add them. We're going to start with a bare bones search campaign, but you can see how powerful the audience segments can be. So we'll just leave this blank. We're going to go down here to the more settings section. We're going to optimize for our best performing ads. When it comes to search campaigns, the most important part of your campaigns is this screen here, is in adding your keywords and adding the type of searches that you want to search for. Now, we always recommend when you're starting off, at least starting off, that you start with one keyword per ad group. And you start with the top 5 keywords in your niche, your industry, or your offer. So for our example, the keywords we're going to be using, because we're in the tennis space and we're selling a hypothetical tennis offer, is we're going to be using tennis lessons, tennis training. Oh, I don't know why that's saying tenning. Tennis training, tennis classes, tennis tutorials, tennis course. Now, if I just use those keywords like that, they're going to end up what's called a broad match, as you can see under here. And we don't want a broad match. A broad match is fine once you've got an offer that is already proven to convert and you just want to go as broad as possible and you want to, you're trying to milk the cow for as much as possible. Well, the reality is at the beginning when you're setting up your campaign, we don't know how well or how bad our campaign is going to perform. So we want to be very conservative, or Google will spend your budget and it will spend it super, super fast. So we want to be very, very careful about the keywords that we choose. So we're going to be doing both a phrase match and an exact match. So a phrase match is that the phrase is used in the search phrase. An exact match is that they're searching the exact term that we're putting in. And I'm going to show you how to do that in a second. But I want to share 2 resources that will help you in terms of finding the best keywords for you. The first one is the free Google Keyword Tool. So I'm going to put in, say, tennis lessons. And the Google Keyword Tool can be found up in here under Tools and Settings, over here to Planning, Keyword Planner, and that will open up the keyword tool. I'll just open it up in a new tab here so you can see it, what it looks like. And when it opens up, you're going to have 2 options. You're going to have a discover new keywords and get search volume and forecasts. And this is what we want. We want get search volume and forecasts. And then you're going to put in your phrase. So say tennis lessons, get started, and it's going to give you the search volume for that. Now, if we wanted to get keyword ideas, we can put in our phrase here again, tennis lessons, and hit get results. So we can see that tennis lessons, there's roughly 12,000 searches a month. Tennis lessons near me, 27,000. Tennis classes near me, 9,000. Tennis coaching, adult tennis lessons, tennis training, youth tennis lessons, adult tennis lessons, etc. So this is our search volume. And obviously there is, if we sort by average monthly searches, we'll get a better idea. Tennis indoor courts near me. So that's not relevant. So if we had a broad search of tennis lessons, this keyword would probably show up in the search results when it's not relevant, because we don't want to be targeting someone who's searching for an indoor court. We want targeting someone who's targeting for the actual phrase tennis lessons, tennis training, tennis classes, tennis coaching, and so on and so forth. So we want to make sure that we're using the right keyword phrase. So Google Keyword Planner is a free tool. I would recommend you playing around in here. You can add in as many different ones as you want here. So you can add in the, tennis training, or whatever other keywords you have. I recommend starting with no less than 3, no more than 5. And when you're doing your research, another tool you can use, which is a paid tool, keywordtool.io. This is a paid tool. I think it's anywhere from $67 to $97 a month. It's a very, very good tool. You don't need it. You can use the free Google Keyword Planner. Keyword Tool is pretty good because it gives you search results across these. What I do like about keywordtool.io, it gives you variations of the keywords. You can put in questions, you can put in presuppositions, you can put in related keywords, and it will just give you lots of different options that you can target. But for the purpose of this, when you're setting up an initial campaign, the core keyword is what you want to test first, and testing the core key phrase, the phrase that's most closely related to your specific thing that you're selling. So say, for example, say you were selling a course on Google Ads. The most closest related keyword to that is Google Ads course, right? And then maybe a secondary one might be Google Ads tutorial or Google Ads training, like I'm going to be showing you with the tennis example here. So use the 3 to 5 of the closest keywords to whatever it is that you're selling or whatever it is that you're offering or promoting. If it's a free training or if it's something you're selling, use the keywords that are closely related to it. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be setting up within our campaign, we're going to have 5 ad groups. And each of those ad groups is going to be focusing on the one keyword. And we're going to be using both the phrase match and the exact match. So for the purpose of this example here, we're just going to focus on tennis lessons. But to have the thing set up the right way, we're going to have tennis lessons in square bracket, and we're going to have tennis lessons in inverted commas. So tennis lessons in inverted commas, is the phrase match. So that means that the phrase is used in the search term. So someone might say best tennis lessons course online, or the exact match is someone searching just tennis lessons. So our first keyword is going to be, our first ad group is just going to be called tennis lessons. So we're only going to be targeting these two keywords, nothing else. So then we put in our URL, which I'm going to get now. So this is where we paste in the URL where we're going to be sending traffic. So I'm using this URL, which is just a test URL as an example. There's actually no content on this, but I'm just using it as an example. Now, in the future, I will do a video on UTM tracking and using third-party tools like Wicked Reports and Hyros and things like that. But for now, we're just going to use the final URL. As long as you got your conversion tracking set up correctly, we use it. I have a video where I've showed you how to do it using both Google Tag Manager and hard coding the conversions into your pages. I'll link that somewhere on this video here so you can watch. And the headlines, we have a lot of different headline options. So we have, if we add as many as we have possible, I think it goes to 10, maybe more since the last time. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 headline options. And we can have 1, 2, 3, 4 descriptions. And this is where we put in our tracking template if you were doing tracking. Now, at the beginning, you don't necessarily have to use all headline options. But once you get going and once you start getting traffic, we do recommend that you start using them all. So I'm just going to start putting these in here. So see, tennis lessons, 100% guarantee, improve your tennis. Best online tennis coach. And then one thing to remember is always put in your keywords into the headlines as well. So like we have tennis lessons, we're also going to put in tennis training. We're going to put in tennis course online. So we're using our keywords for some reason. I don't know what that happened. I like to camel case my my headline words as well. So camel case is just capitalizing the first letter of each of the words. It's just a nice method. It makes it easier for someone to read the actual headline. So we're going to say tennis coaching. Now, obviously, the Mullery method is a fictitious method for improving your tennis. Don't think it's actual real. I'm just using it as an example. New tennis course details the Mullery method for improving your tennis game in as little as in 6 hours or less. Keep this here. Tracking template, like I said, I'll do future videos on tracking, but we're just going to keep this blank. You have the option to use a different final URL for mobile. That's fine. Be the envy of your mates. Brand new course, tennis tutorials online. So what's going to happen is, because we're using lots of different headlines, the ad strength is excellent. We always want to make sure our ad strength is excellent. Now this is just the first ad group, and we're just going to call this. Actually, we'll just call this 1, so we know it's the first one. Tennis lessons. Now we will be adding negative keywords to it, and I'll be getting to that in a second. But for first, what we're just going to do is going to go down here to next, and we're going to skip the Sitelink extensions. This is something that you would add in the future once your campaign is running and starting to get results. It's not relevant right now because we want to make sure that our campaign is actually A, going to be approved, and B, to see that we want to test whether or not our offer is going to be strong enough and whether or not we can get conversions within the allowable cost per acquisition that we have within our allowable CPA. And so Sitelink extensions aren't relevant right now. Call out extensions aren't relevant right now, and call extensions aren't relevant right now, and none of this is relevant right now either. In the future, this is certainly a way to augment the results of your ads and improve the results of your ads, but right now extensions isn't necessary, especially when you're starting off and you're looking to get offer validation. You're looking to get some initial campaigns going to see if there's enough volume for the keywords that you're targeting and so on and so forth. So set your average daily budget for this. We recommend anywhere from 5 times to 10 times your ideal cost per lead or your ideal cost per sale. So let's say, for example, that you were willing to pay $10 a lead. Your ideal an ideal budget for that will be 5 times to 10 times your ideal cost per lead of $10, which would be $50 or $100 a day. So it's going to say, let's say this to say $50 a day. Ideally, it would be the higher range. It'll allow you to get more data quickly, but for the purpose of this example, we're just going to set it to $50. And then, so once you get to this screen, then you can just do a quick review of the campaign. Now, the campaign isn't fully set up yet, because what we're going to have to do afterwards is add in the extra ad groups and add in some negative keywords as well. But we'll just do a quick review, click publish. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the campaign and actually pause it, because I don't want it to start running, because it will be disqualified because it's sending to a blank page anyways, but this is just an example. So now when we're in our ad group level, we can see that we have one ad group in there, and this ad group, if we click in, we can see that it's targeting the keywords tennis lessons, the exact phrase, tennis lessons, exact match, and we're also targeting the phrase match of tennis lessons. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go back and we're going to create the next 4. We're going to add in the 4 remaining ad groups targeting the other phrases. And then after that, we're going to add in our negative keywords to each of the ad groups, because each ad group is going to have some specific negative keywords. And then our campaign is pretty much ready to rock and roll. So let me come back here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this. So I'm going to go edit and copy. I'm going to untick this. I'm going to come all the way over to the other side. I'm going to hit the more section down here with the 3 dots. I'm going to hit paste. And then I have to choose my campaign, which is fine. I'm going to hit done. And you have the option to pause new ad groups after pasting. Because the campaign itself is paused, we don't need to do that. And we're just going to hit paste. It usually takes a couple of moments. So here it is. Tennis lessons number 2. But we're just going to change this to tennis training, and hit save. We're going to click into this. Now, first thing we have to do is we have to remove these 2 keywords, because these are the tennis lesson keywords. Just going to hit edit and remove, hit confirm. Now, obviously, you could create the ad group again from scratch, but that means that you have to add the ad as well. Now, you could copy the ad, but I just like this way. I think this way is a little bit quicker. So what we're going to do is we're going to add in their keywords. And again, the keywords we're using here, like I said, is tennis training. And we're using the exact match and the phrase match again. So we can see we have exact match and phrase match. Now, at any stage, if you wanted to change, you could change it to broad match, which they recommend. And of course, Google would recommend that, because that means they'll get you as many impressions as you want. And a lot of those impressions are going to be unqualified, not the right impressions for you. So we always recommend that you use exact match and phrase match. So that's that second ad group created. Now we're going to create our third ad group. Go back here to our ad groups. And I'm just going to duplicate this one and click copy and paste. Hit done and hit paste. So this one we're going to call tennis course, because we're going to be using the seed word tennis course. And we're going to call this number 3. So for this one, we're going to go into our ad group. We're going to remove these 2 keywords by going to edit and click remove. And we're going to add in our 2 tennis course keywords, which is the exact match of tennis course and the phrase match of tennis course. I'm going to go back to our campaign here. Go to our ad group level. Just going to copy this And we're going to do paste, done, and hit paste. And we have a fourth one. And the fourth one we're going to be doing is tennis coach. So we click in here. Again, first of all, we're going to remove these ones. Click confirm. And then we're going to add in our 2 tennis coaching keywords. Again, the exact match and the phrase match for each. Now, just to reiterate, the reason why we do things this way, and the reason why we recommend doing this way, having at least 5 ad groups, 1 keyword per ad group, is because you're testing your seed keywords first. So before you add in all of the broad keywords and long tail keywords, and in case you're not familiar with a long tail keyword is a longer phrase that's using a specific keyword. So say, for example, in tennis course, a long tail keyword be best online tennis course for beginners. That's a long tail keyword. Now, the good thing is, because we're using phrase match and exact match, we'll still pick up this keyword in this seed keyword ad group, but we're primarily going to be focusing on these keywords. And these are the closest related keywords to our particular offer. And in this instance, our particular offer is a fictitious, it's not a real offer, but we're using tennis as an example. So we're using 5 ad groups with 5 of the highest volume, closely related to our offer keywords that we have available. So we have lessons, training, course, coach, and the last one we're going to be setting up is tutorials. And the reason why we do this is because this allows you to validate whether or not search can be viable for you in the first place, and validate whether or not cold search campaigns is something that you can and should run for your business. Now, there is a secondary search campaign which we call a branded search campaign, and this is a warm search campaign. And this is I'll be doing a future video on that, because it's a type of campaign that you can run which you're already getting some traffic to your website that can allow you to get a lot more conversions at a much lower cost. But you wouldn't set up that campaign until you already have some traction with your advertising campaigns. So from a search point of view, we always start with this type of a search campaign. It allows you to spend spend it as efficiently as possible, so you don't waste any ad spend on keywords that are not relevant to your business, keywords that are broad. So you may use things like tennis coaching or tennis training, but a broad keyword related to that may be tennis courts near me. Now, someone searching for a tennis court near them is not a good fit for tennis training, because they're not searching for tennis training. But if they're searching for tennis training and you have a course that's all about tennis training, well, then that's very relevant. We want to make sure, at least at the very, very beginning, when we're looking to get traction, looking to get data, looking to test our market and test our offer and get some validation, using closely related search terms is absolutely critical. So I hope that's crystal clear, because it is so important to it's so paramount to the success of your campaigns. So last one, like I said, is tennis tutorials. So we're just going to copy this, and I can't remember if I've already copied it, but I'll just do it again. We're going to hit paste, going to hit done, and hit paste. And we're just going to change this to tennis tutorials. And hit save. Click in here, remove these keywords, click confirm, untick, and then we're going to add in our 2 keywords. And we are nearly done. Okay, so we're just going to hit save here. And we have phrase match tennis tutorials and exact match tennis tutorials. So now if we come back to our campaign level, we can see that we have 5 ad groups. Each ad group is targeting a very specific keyword, and it's using both phrase match and exact match. So the last step before we put our campaigns live is by adding in negative keywords. And there's 3 types of negative keywords I want you to add to your campaign. The first one is it's just one word, and it's not always necessary to add to your campaigns, but it is if you're selling a product, a service, or an offer, And that's regardless of whether you're selling it via a free training like a webinar or a free challenge. But you want to make sure, we always typically add in the keyword free in our negative keywords, because we want to eliminate as much as possible people who are looking for free stuff, because we all want obviously to generate customers, generate clients, and generate buyers. So that's the first keyword we're going to be eliminating. But then the second one is, within each of these ad groups, we want to make sure that we're eliminating or adding the negative keywords of the other keywords in the other ad groups. So say, for example, in the tennis coach ad group, we want to make sure that our negative keywords we're using are tennis tutorials, tennis course, tennis training, and tennis lessons. We don't want those keywords showing up in our tennis coach ad group. And so similarly with the other ones. And then finally, the other keywords, and this is an optional, we have a master negative keyword list. And these are universal ones that we typically add to all campaigns. Some of them are just kind of spam words that we want to make sure we don't have in there. And then there's other ones specific to the type of offers that you may be selling. So say, for example, if you sell high-end products or services, you maybe want to include these as negative keywords. If you sell discounted services, you may want to include these as keywords. If you're in the automotive industry, you can use these, repairer. If you're in entertainment, and so on and so forth. This is a long list of about, what's the total on it? I think it's 1,484 negative keywords depending on industry. Now, you're not going to use all of these, obviously. Use the ones that are specific for your business. Now, if you'd like that negative keyword list, on top of getting our Google audience spreadsheet, which includes affinity audiences, in-market audiences, and demographic audiences, all you need to do is just simply like this video, leave a comment below letting me know that you've liked it and letting me know that you've enjoyed the video if you have, and also subscribe to this channel. I will reply to your comment and I will give you access to those two resources, both the interest targeting resource and the negative keyword resource as well. Okay, so let's go in and add our negative keywords and we'll get these campaigns live. So let's start with the first one, tennis lessons. So we're going to go up here to tennis lessons, and under negative keywords here, this is where we're going to add in our negative keywords. So we're going to add our first batch, which is the word free, and our keywords from the other ad groups. I'm just going to go here, add in negative keywords, and click here. Click save. And you can use the other ones here as well if you want to. Now, for the purpose of this example, I'm not going to. I just wanted to show you how you could actually do it. But you would just copy these and you would just go in here and hit paste. But, you know, it's just as simple as that. Now, free is already in there, so you wouldn't need it. Now, you would just hit there and you would hit save. Now, for the purpose of this, I'm just not going to do it. I just wanted to show you how you could do that. Now, for tennis training, the ones we're going to be adding in are, I have them here on my other screen. So I'm just going to go in and go here. And hit save. Under tennis course, the negative keywords we're going to be using. Just in case you're not familiar, what it means by negative keywords is that if a negative keyword is in the search term, your ad won't show. It's as simple as that. And negative keywords are a really good way of eliminating wasted search terms. Now, when you're doing seed keywords like this strategy is showing you here, the negative keywords you need to use, you don't need to use as many as if you were using like broad searches. In broad searches, there's going to be lots of different negative keywords. But when you're using seed keywords that are both exact match and phrase match, the negative keywords that you use can be limited because you're being very specific with the type of searches. Then for ad group 4, which is tennis coach, our list of negative keywords are here. Add these in. Oh, mistake. Click save. And finally, tennis tutorials. Add in our negative keywords. click save. Now, so what we've done with this campaign is we have one campaign with 5 ad groups. Now, each ad group in this instance is using the same ads. Now, long term, to get the best results possible, you will be grouping keywords when you start to expand these keywords into ad groups, and then each ad would be specific to the keywords you're targeting. Okay, so now we have our 5 ad groups set up with all of our keyword phrases in there and our negative keywords, and then we can go on about turning on our ads. So we can go from paused to enabled. The campaign will go into review. So you can see here, it'll just, if I click in here to one of the ad groups, it'll say eligible. And if I click over down here to ads and extensions, over here to ads, you can see that it's going to be pending and under review. Now, what I want to do is I want to make sure we turn it off because I don't want it to go into review. I want to make sure it is off. So here we go. It is off here. So it is paused. This is just an example Google Ads tutorial. Now, once you have your actual ad campaign set up, how we measure our results is based on here. So say if you have, because we're optimizing for, let's go back to our ad group level here. In terms of measuring the results, once the campaign goes into review, it can take roughly 24 hours to 48 hours to be approved. And once it's approved, you will start getting impressions and hopefully start getting clicks and hopefully start getting conversions and everything else. And how you can start measuring and looking at your ads dashboard. When you come over here and go to your ads.google, so I'm just going to go to ads.google.com here and it'll bring you to the dashboard. If I click sign in, the actual ads dashboard, what I call the ads cockpit, will load. And then how we get to, obviously there's lots of information going on here and etc, etc. But in terms of to monitor the campaigns and actually see if your campaigns are both live and actually performing well, I always go over here to the left hand side under campaigns and go campaigns home. And then I like to choose the type of campaign, whatever campaign I'm running. Obviously we have a YouTube campaign at the minute that's just on a low budget, just promoting a video. And I can do a video in the future about how we promote our YouTube videos as well with ads. If you want to, let me know in the comments. But the campaign we just set up here is YT test search keywords 10s blah 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 here. So I'm going to click into this. So anytime you click into this, the left hand side changes specific to whatever you've clicked into. So I'm just going to pause or enable this again. Now if we want to see how things are performing in terms of the conversions that we're optimizing for, you have a thing over here called segment, and you have conversions and conversion action. So then it will show you what type of conversions showed up and the type of conversions that were generated. Because obviously you have here, all it's shown here under this section is clicks, impressions, click-through rate, average cost per click, cost, and conversion rate. That's not going to tell you a lot of data. So you can modify your columns. We have one here that's under conversions. So we can see it gives us a little bit more data. So it gives us our target CPA if we had one, the amount of conversions that we generated, the cost per that conversion, the cost overall, the amount of clicks that we got, the average cost per click, our conversion rate, conversion value to cost, and all conversions. So if you hover over each one of these, it'll give you an explanation of exactly what that is. Now, what I want to show you is how you can add in extra columns. So if you go under columns, you can hit modify columns and you can add in specific ones. So like under performance, you can add in clicks, cost, impressions, click-through rate, interactions, interaction rate, impressions related to the top, and impressions related to the top impression rate, and so on and so forth. Under conversions, you have conversion rate, conversion value. There's lots of different ones here. Typically, what we use across all of our campaigns, now it's slightly different depending on whether we're using a search campaign, a YouTube campaign, a display campaign, and a retargeting campaign, or so on and so forth. Sometimes we use specific ones, but typically the ones that we use are clicks, cost, impressions, click-through rate, average cost per click, conversion rate, conversion value per cost, all conversions, and sometimes we use view-through conversions. And under attribution, or attributes, we use tracking template to make sure that our tracking is set up as well. And like I said, in a future video, I'll show you tracking. But the main ones that we use are these ones specifically for search. Now, when we're doing YouTube campaigns, we add in things like view rate and so on and so forth, number of views and view rate. Now this isn't relevant here because it's a search campaign, and when I do a YouTube tutorial for you, I will show you that as well. So just go to hit cancel here. But once you modify your columns, you can save. So let's do an example here. So we'll say clicks, cost, impressions, click-through rate, and let me see, conversion rate value, all conversions, view through conversions, that's fine. And let me see, attributes, we'll just do tracking template as well. So we're going to bring this up to the front. So we're going to have impressions, clicks, costs, average cost per click. So we can rearrange them just by dragging them here. So we can see click-through rate, cost, average cost per click, conversion rate. Just going to save your column set, save it as JM, and there we go. So then anytime you want to turn on your column, you have it down here, your column sets JM. So if I wanted to switch, I can switch between our columns as we see fit. So I'm just going to use this one because we have it set up the way we want. So we have our conversions, cost per conversions, impressions, clicks, click-through rate, cost, average cost per click, conversion rate, conversion value by cost, all conversions, and view through conversions. So if you're unsure what any of these mean, you can just hover over the actual name of it, view through conversions. As an example, view through conversions are conversions that are recorded when a user's view but doesn't interact with an ad and then goes on to later convert. These conversions are counted based on a period of time called a view through conversion window. This metric automatically excludes conversions from people who have also interacted with any of your other ads. So that's pretty kind of covers the looking at the type of columns that you when you modify your columns. And when it comes to setting up a search campaign, that's pretty much it. The first 3 to 5 days, you're just looking to get some data. So don't worry about going in and making changes to the campaign. If you got your campaign set up correctly, you're going to let the campaign run for the first 3 to 5 days, get some data. And then once you get some data, you can click into your actual ad group, and under search terms, it will show what terms were used to find your ads, what terms were used to trigger your ads showing in the search results. And this is where you'll start to make some decisions about the campaign. And I'll do a future video about analyzing an existing campaign and digging into results. Obviously, there's no results in this campaign, so we can't dig in. But in the future, I will do a follow-up video on analyzing the results of a campaign and optimizing a campaign and so on and so forth. If you like this Google Ads tutorial and found it helpful, do me a favor and hit the like button underneath this video, and also make sure you subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss any of our future videos. And like I mentioned, if you want access to the list of targeting options available in Google Ads, simply subscribe to this channel and leave a comment below and I'll send you access. Now be sure to check out my other videos where I'll be sharing the latest tips, tricks, tutorials and strategies on all things advertising, whether that's Adwords, whether that's Google Display Network, Facebook ads, YouTube ads, and even that new kid on the block, TikTok ads. I'll add links to a couple of extra videos somewhere at the end of this video. Thanks again, and we'll speak to you soon.